Welcome to the PCOS Fertility Health Podcast. I am your host, Dr. Angela Potter, and I am so excited that you are here today. You are going to get a deep dive into fertility and PCOS and acupuncture. I have a special guest on the podcast today. Her name is Dr. Nam Lee. She is a renowned doctor of acupuncture who has a clinic in Southern California where women and families from all over the world come to her practice to get support on their journey. So you're going to be learning from Dr. Lee about the power of acupuncture, how it can enhance your fertility on this journey. And you're going to get some very important tips, particularly if you are moving forward with the IVF journey, and how acupuncture can be a really integrative, powerful part of that IVF journey. So I'm really excited for you to hear from Dr. Lee today. And before we get started, I want to acknowledge you for showing up and being here today, because you could be listening to any other podcast episode right now, but you chose to listen to this one, and you chose to flood your mind with powerful and hopeful PCOS fertility information. And I don't take that lightly, and neither should you. Yes, this is just 30 minutes long, but it is a sign when you show up here to be here and listen to this episode that you are holding on to hope and you are committed to making the changes that your body needs in order to get pregnant with PCOS. And that is powerful. And I hope that you can see that in yourself, and that wonderful dedication. That speaks really highly of who you are as a person. And I value that in you. And I am really overjoyed to have you here in this community. One resource that I want to be sure that you have with you, that is a concrete resource that you can just hold in your hands, is my PCOS fertility checklist. Okay, it's 10 items where you can read through them with your partner, and make sure that you have every single one of those checked off. Because even if you have just one of those that's not checked off, then you have a missing link with your fertility journey. So that's why I created this free checklist, so you can have that concrete information right in front of you. And you can get access to that checklist at drangelapotter.com/checklist. I'll include that link below in the show notes, so you can be sure to just head on over and grab that free fertility resource for you. And so now let's jump into the conversation with Dr. Lee. Dr. Nam Lee, it is such an extreme pleasure to have you here on the podcast today. How are you doing? How does it feel to be here?
I'm so excited to share. I'm so excited.
Oh, good, good. So, you have created this amazing fertility acupuncture clinic, and you have such a big heart to help families to have babies and just to realize their dreams of becoming parents. So, can you just share with us, what was it that inspired you to take this path?
I have a very specific story, but also let me explain how I get here as a practitioner first. And I grew up in Korea, and my family owned a large, like a bathhouse like this. And when I was 14, my daddy left, and someone had to start the enormous boiler at the basement every morning. So I get out of bed at the 4 a.m. at the shivering, and I grab my daddy's old sticky tar covered gloves, and I drag and roll and wrestle these huge railroad logs to the basement, to the boiler. And every day, and same routine for years. And one morning, on my way to school, I looked up, and endless canvas of brilliant stars. So I knew the hardship and the challenges I faced were temporary. Ever since little girl, I've been telling everybody, I want to go to America. So when I look at the star-covered sky, and I knew someday I would. And I left Korea when I was 26 to study acupuncture and holistic medicine here in the US. And 7 years later, I had a successful 28 acupuncture center in the medical offices up and down California coast. But when my son Robert was born, everything else melted away because all I wanted was just to be his mom. And when you start preschool and I start practicing acupuncture again, like a small clinic near my home. And one Saturday, Ronnie walks in. She's doing egg retrieval and then IVF center near me, and she wants acupuncture to help support her. At age 35, she had a horrible car accident, and then she shattered almost every bone in her body. And she had over 30 CT scan. They fried her eggs. In the last 5 years, she's been driving from Northern California to Southern California 7 hours every month to bank her eggs. After that session, I went back to my office and I cried and cried. I thought of my son, Robert, and what being a mom meant to me. I knew I needed to help Ronnie and some woman like her desperately dream of having a family. I shifted my focus of my practice. And even I don't know, actually, Ronnie got pregnant. I lost the contact of her over the years. But because of her, as I said, we shifted my focus of my practice. So my clinic's now helping this many, many women like her. And I don't think a star is in the sky anymore. I think all the families we will help. That was a moment I decide and shift the gear towards helping our patients with the fertility challenge.
Oh, what a long journey you
Mm.
have been on. And to see that first when you were a little girl, to know that you wanted to come to the United States,
Mhm.
and to be in that place where every morning you are going down with these what tar covered gloves and starting this boiler, how far away that must have felt from this dream of yours. And then those events that just unfolded for you to get here and
Mhm.
to have met that woman who needed your help, and how that just directed these next few years. And now here you are, and you have this incredible clinic, and you have a huge amount of families who love you because you have helped them. How many years now have you had the fertility specific clinic?
So my acupuncture specific is over 20 years. Even I look like a 20. I started my preschool, right? Okay. So anyway, this is a like a 15 or maybe like a 14 years, very intense. But good thing is I'm not alone. I am with my practitioner, and some people even more skilled than me. So we are team and multiple location, and we're helping actually international patients too. We have patients not in our state. We have many other state and coming from out of a country. So it's such a privilege to help this many people with this amazing medicine.
Wow. Just that ripple effect that has happened and is happening around the world. So these people are traveling to come see you and your associates in the clinic.
That's a part of, but also I work with this many amazing IVF doctor. So they are also world famous.
Uh-huh.
And then those patients, when they come, their doctor, they're a good doctor. They want their patient's success. So they recommend the best they can find, and then which they trust the acupuncture and holistic medicine so much, because they're a good doctor. So they actually ended up getting some the treatment from us as well.
Wow. Okay, so then on that note, let's talk about how does acupuncture help with fertility? Let's, if you could talk about natural conception, and then I also want to dive into IVF because I know that's a really big part of your passion and practice to help with the IVF process. But if you could just help us understand, how does acupuncture help with natural conception?
Thank you so much, because that's I'm hearing every day from my patients, especially new patients, because many of my patients is a first timer for acupuncture itself. Acupuncture, traditional understanding is a helping, let's say, chi, which is vital energy, and then blood circulation. But I've translated slightly different way. To me, chi is more towards a mitochondria function, and then blood is a more nutrient supply to the body because all the nutrients travel through the blood and also oxygen as well. And acupuncture is a whole person approach. And when patients are coming with a specific challenge with this reproduction, and that's one part of a problem, as I'm seeing. And then they might have a lot of inflammation or stress and other hormone issues. Who knows? There's many environmental toxins even. So acupuncture improve their general health, but also same time focus on specific reproduction challenge with the ovaries and uterus through those traditional understanding of blood circulation. And then the energy production, which is the mitochondria function issues. And that usually help our patients with a specific period challenge, because the natural conception, a lot of time is their period itself is not the optimum. So if you improve those factors, and then you have more regulated hormones, and then the lower the inflammation, and then more regulation of your period will optimize. And that's what I'm seeing in our natural conception patient. Even I have one patient just pregnant naturally in age like 44. So even her case was very specific because she was a donor egg patient. She wanted to have a donor egg, and then we helping her with the implantation, like a transfer. But she ended up just pregnant naturally and had just baby a couple weeks ago.
But
What was her challenge though? Say again?
not with the donor egg. She just got pregnant naturally.
She didn't need it. I mean, she was a failed IVF cycle patient because she couldn't be candidate for IVF. So she went to donor egg, and then now she come for optimizing transfer cycle, ended up naturally pregnant. And then she's not young because I have actually donor egg patient with a POI. Then they are younger generation, but she's 43 and had a baby at 44. So it's very great case to me, but her case was we were optimizing her overall health with the stress because she had a huge stress component, and also a little bit of to me it's inflammation too. But then body just capable in that age. So that's a natural conception of a helping patient. It's a more whole personal approach, but also we have a specific target, as I mentioned, hormone, inflammation, and also there's a stress component. And then I think anti-aging, which with the blood circulation and the mitochondrial function optimization is a part of a anti-aging treatment we provide for our natural conception patient.
That's fascinating. I had never heard of that as the chi being really supporting the mitochondria for the energy. And from my perspective, when I'm working with patients, we are talking about that mitochondria health so much because of how many mitochondria are in those eggs to get them to develop and ovulate. So I love that connection there and how you're really focusing on that mitochondrial health and that blood flow to get those nutrients flowing.
It's a very fascinating because we are discovering all those new discovery through the science, but traditional medicine or ancient people already using it by even not knowing it. And I think that's, to me, it's very fascinating.
I love that. I love that. And it's so important on a fertility journey to really be open to these different modalities to help the body in a different way to find whatever it is that's blocked.
Absolutely.
It's really beautiful. So, okay, that's natural conception. And
Mhm.
an amazing story you shared there with that woman who thought donor eggs were her only option, which is amazing that science is at a place where we have that as an option. Like, that's wonderful for families. But then she just got pregnant naturally. So, talk to us about what then it looks like for families who are getting ready for IVF. How does acupuncture fit into that space?
It's actually so popular because in my clinic, probably over 70% of our fertility patient is going through IVF or IUI. And they mostly, like a lot of them is referred by their physician, IVF doctor. So doctors are aware. And then also patient did a self research and then they also try to add up and then ask their doctor and then get some more approval from them. But what I'm seeing in here, acupuncture, because I that's what I do day and night. I work at my clinic, but also I go to the day of embryo transfer and IVF center almost every day. We go out every day to help patients. So when you do IVF, we are here to support IVF success. How? First, egg retrieval cycle. Now we are dealing with the egg quality and the proper blood circulation to the ovaries. So the first phase of egg retrieval cycle, we target ovaries. And the acupuncture known as a bring more blood circulation. And as I said, the blood carries everything what you need to optimize, and then it will improve egg quality. And if you have a beautiful embryo, and then now you have to transfer. So implantation phase is also popular at this time. Sometimes the unknown inflammation or infection and all other or autoimmunity can be the problem for successful implantation. So we use acupuncture more target at that phase with the uterus, and then also immune modulation, and then inflammation the slightly different way. Because when you go to the acupuncture clinic, if they are specialized in fertility, they use many other modalities. I think they should because we are trying to bridge between ancient medicine and then science together. That's it's actually IVF approach. IVF um, infertility clinic is not only medicine, it's a medicine and then science because the doctor and embryologist lab together. I think when we help patients, we should do. So we use acupuncture and a lot of light therapy and lifestyle you specialized in. And also we have some couple of different techniques we use, like abdominal massage, excellent for implantation optimization. And then don't forget, day of transfer. As I said, the day of transfer is the most important, make acupuncture so popular and there's a research and shows it called the Paulus protocol. So they use electroacupuncture 25 minutes before and then right after, and then significantly improve the implantation rate and then live birth. So that's a very important acupuncture support for IVF specific at this time.
Wow. That's really powerful that you have identified what's needed at each one of these steps of the IVF process.
Yeah, I think I am natural medicine practitioner. But my goal is that my patient's success, bring the baby back home. Then I have to work with the doctor and I have to understand. Also, we optimize each phase of their specific process. And then I think that is the way to go.
That's so beautiful. And you made a post on Instagram maybe a week ago. And it was one of your patients who was just over the moon in love with your services. And she was saying that you had brought like a heating pack, I think, or a heating lamp even to the clinic, to the retrieval clinic, something. It was just like, see, Dr. Nam, she takes that next step and she is so dialed in with what her patients need. I just love what you're doing.
Yeah, because actually we donate. Because the some IVF center, maybe I'm not the only practitioner, there may be other practitioners come, but my goal is whoever going through IVF, their success. So wherever I can help. So we actually donate the heat lamp for other acupuncturists can use. And I think the day of a transfer, we all focus on nice, warm and then circulation. So I think if you have if still it's a cold room with the surgery going on, it's very dry environment. I think some nice heat lamp will make them feel better too. Not only the therapeutic effect.
I love that. I know when I'm just going to my acupuncturist, I love that heat lamp. It's just so
Mhm.
feels so nice and like comforting, like a little cocoon there. So let's change directions just a little bit. And I want to hear from you. Are there any specific taboos or myths in the fertility community that you come across?
A couple actually.
Yeah.
I personally I don't agree with the terminology unexplained infertility because whenever my patients come to my clinic and they self-label themselves, I'm unexplained. That means I don't have a problem or it's not my fault. I'm not saying it's their fault, but whenever you say unexplained means you have no responsibility of this whatever the result. But then you have no power to make a change. So suddenly unexplained infertility make a patient very powerless in this game. So if a patient's not involved in here and then they don't know what they should do, it always lower the engagement, and it's hard for us to motivate patients because they just lost. So unexplained infertility is we still don't know what the challenge is, but doesn't mean there is no problem either. And that's one thing. And another one, many patients coming to our clinic, I notice even their unexplained infertility, a lot of times they are silent patient, endometriosis. So we are not really, we just overlook like endometriosis. Okay, endometriosis. Now, maybe they don't want to, I mean, it's hard to even diagnose this at this time. So I think that there's many of the patients unexplained ended up silent endometriosis. That's what I'm seeing. And it's not really taboo, but I think people are not seriously pointing out and then try to come up with how they can help this group of patients, which is a lot.
Yeah, right. Thank you so much for bringing that up about unexplained fertility because being on this side of being the medical practitioner, you understand that they're really, it's not like there's all these weird things going on in the body that we don't understand. And we're just clumping these people into, well, we have no idea what could happen. But there's got to be a way to figure out because if the periods are not regular, there's got to be a reason why they aren't regular. Yeah, and then that
Totally
leaves
agree.
that space of just feeling like, well, what's left for me?
Mhm. Even I have patients coming at the age 39 and they say, I'm unexplained infertility.
Mhm.
We don't want, as I said, we kind of diminish patients a lot, unfortunately. What I'm saying is sometimes we have to be a little tough love. And there is something definitely age component. Many patients think that's not a factor in that 30, like 35 to 40 age gap patient. And they just like, oh, I don't have a problem, but I'm having this. So as I said, the patient's not really cannot make a change. Like if the older patients, especially many of my patients, very success patient, they're really committed patient. They're committed patient make a change because they have a power to change and that they feel they are responsible. Good way, bad way, no matter what.
I think that's such a a deep insight to so many different aspects of life, right? Like
Uh,
you've got to understand where it's coming from, take that responsibility in that sense of hope. Like, okay, then I know the path forward and I can be taking these steps. And this is what I've got to do.
yeah, I think just said that in the general like a life. not only fertility even, taking responsibility and then move forward fast and then effective way is the key of success, I think.
How about PCOS specifically? Do you see any myths about PCOS in the patients that you see?
Because we see PCOS patients have a general idea of, okay, they are more insulin resistant, and then they also have some challenges with the blood sugar, a little overweight. But we have a other patient, like a skinny PCOS, or also patients not really diagnosed with PCOS, but they are PCOS-like patient. And the doctor said, oh, you're not PCOS because you're not into this criteria. So I have a lot of also patients. They think they are PCOS, but they're not diagnosed with PCOS. And then this patient have a little confusion. So those gray area of a patient, PCOS-like, but not officially diagnosed as a PCOS patient. And I think we should treat them as like a PCOS.
And do you see a lot of PCOS patients in your clinic?
We do, especially and then PCOS and endo usually coming together a lot of times. That's what I see too. Just general, like let's say patient try to conceive naturally, and if they have a irregular cycle, and they're not really diagnosed with the PCOS, but I think of those patients group we're seeing a lot at our clinic. And then herbal medicine been very effective. And as you know, is your expert, and then diet and lifestyle absolutely help many our PCOS patients to regulate their period through the lifestyle and herbal medicine and acupuncture. And then we have abdominal massage, like Alvigo massage, very effective for actually, because it's a physical movement and stimulation at the ovaries. Somehow it helps.
Yeah, that's so beautiful. It's that hands-on work to be stimulating that blood flow and just waking things up in the pelvis.
Especially one not super overweight patient, and then they are little like a slim, and then in the right range of a BMI patient with those physical stimulation really helped the trigger period or regulate their ovulation.
Yeah, I'm glad that you gave voice to those women who are struggling with these symptoms that look like PCOS, but their doctors are saying, no, it's not PCOS. And yet they're in this kind of limbo, understanding what their body is doing and thinking like, but it's really looks like PCOS. So glad that you see those types of patients and that you feel really confident just moving forward with them and understanding this bigger picture of the body and how to bring it back to homeostasis. Yeah.
Because think about it, the result wise, if they are really not a PCOS through their doctor, but if they improve their diet, they will have a healthier lifestyle and then healthy body, and then it's a more conception or production can occur. So I think there is in our practitioner side, if they not a PCOS, I bring them to the PCOS protocol and optimizing, and then all those diet stuff, and then it's very beneficial.
Yes. Oh, I love that. So, Dr. Nam, what is your secret sauce to fertility success?
I love that because I really want to share. Thank you so much for asking. I because observing so many patients, as I said, I want to see what is the secret of this patient's success. It's not only stress management, it's not only mindset, it's not only vitamins and then the lifestyle. Actually, everything has to be all poured in short time period. But one thing people doesn't really see it as a good factor is movement. I mentioned maybe movement and stimulation, actually. Alvigo massage, we manually stimulate their body. They wake up, and I ask them to move their body after meal, or if they can, do some exercise, not heavy duty exercise. That's not what we're doing for IVF patient anyway. But if they are moving, in Oriental medicine, when I study long time ago. Stuck. Stagnation caused all the inflammation and pain. So to get rid of pain, you have to open up and you move things. It's like a river. If you have a river move slow and all the impurities and then it gets dirty, but if you have a fast moving water, it's nice clean water. So if a patient want to improve their lifestyle, yes, eat good nutrient, biochemical side and emotional stuff, but never ever forget your physical body where you are in. Walking, acupuncture, because acupuncture is a stimulation though. It's a maybe energetic stimulation or physical stimulation. The electroacupuncture is actually physical stimulation. And walking around and then seeing things. And then I think a week, because it's so simple. So first, my secret sauce is everything has to be all together. There's no such a thing as a step by step in my clinic. I put everything. We have a light therapy, more like is mitochondria function or the stimulation to me too, and then also acupuncture, and then proper eating, and then meditation and tapping and all those. So pour in and then make a saturate your body with all this good thing in short time. The body can make a change. Body can make a change. So trust your body, but also never ever forget your physical body. So movement, exercise, proper exercise, and then some massage, acupuncture, and all those. It's something I'm very passionate about. And also that's why I love posture too, because it's a proper posture and physical body.
That I love that connection you made between that movement in the body and a river.
Mm-hmm.
Because so often, we all know the benefits of exercise, but there's often this heaviness to it in the sense of, oh, like, I've got to go exercise, I've got to go move, and I'm already tired and all this. But just thinking about it in that way of like, no, I just want to create this movement in my body. And of course, doing it in a variety of ways, maybe adding in some acupuncture, but it lightens that motivation. And it's like, well, yeah, I want clean running river water in my body. I love
Love
that.
that. Can I share just one quick thing how people can be do things, because the knowing is not enough to me. You
Mhm.
have to make people to do, but you have to make it so easy. And I ask my patient to do movement. I'm not asking 30 minutes. I'm asking them 5 minutes walk, 5 minutes walk, and just piggyback with whatever you are doing already. Like let's say after lunch. I mean, or like if you eat at least one meal a day, I'm sure. And after meal, just walk for 5 minutes. Nobody fail. Everybody win. And then that little step by step adding up those success will drag them to the where they want to go fast and more complete.
I love that. I mean, what a simple thing that you can do.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Just 5 minutes after a meal.
That's it.
And like when you're in this fertility journey that is leaving you feel broken and fed up and like you're failing, one, having simple movements for that is really important to just take action. And that movement can also help with mental health
Mm-hmm.
to just, those simple things to take step by step forward and then add on as you can in all these other beautiful modalities and ways that you were talking about. So Dr. Nam, I mean, I want to come see you. Like, tell the listeners
Come
because I
on.
know everyone else is feeling similarly. Like, wow, she is so passionate. She loves what she does. Tell us, how can we find you? Where is your clinic? Who do we call? Of course, I'm going to include all the links in the show notes. So don't worry if you're listening, if you're like, I can't, I'm driving, I can't get to a place. But Dr. Nam, tell us, like, how can we find you?
Thank you. You can just Lee Acupuncture because my last name is Lee. So LeeAcupuncture, leeacupuncture.com is my website. And if you're an Instagram person, just Lee_acupuncture. That's my Instagram handle. And yeah, I think that way you can. I look forward to help many as possible because that's my passion. I mean, this medicine is so simple, but it's also easy to use immediately. And that's all my patient. Yesterday, I was in the patient. She just came for egg retrieval, but I asked her how you doing, and she said, "I love it. I love it. She's not doing this for IVF only, not anymore. She just love it to be here, there, and then because it make her feel so good." Isn't that great? Like when we all going to the fertility challenge or pain, and oh my God, do I have to go to that acupuncture clinic again? No, she loved it. So she brought all the families waiting at the lounge. It was very, very lovely to see. Thank you for asking. Yeah, if I have more people I can help, why not? Thank you.
I love that. Yeah, your passion is so pulsating and it's clear in with all these families that you've helped. So thank you so much for sharing some of your wisdom today. And just may you have a blessed day and go continue this amazing work that you're doing.
Thank you so much for having me. I appreciate you so much. Thank you. Keep up the great work. Thank you.
Isn't Dr. Namli just an absolute bearer of joy? I always love talking with her, and I hope you got some very important tidbits about your own fertility journey through her and how acupuncture can be a really powerful part of what you're going through. And as a reminder to you, this podcast is for informational purposes only. So Dr. Namli and I are just providing information for you. And if you want that next step of getting individualized support, then you can reach out to Dr. Namli. I have her links below in the show notes. If you need a doctor to help you understand your PCOS fertility pieces, you can reach out to me and jump on a PCOS fertility breakthrough session where we will talk about what's been missing from your care and what you need to add in order to get the very best chance at getting pregnant with PCOS. And I will include the link to jump on a PCOS fertility breakthrough session just below in the show notes. And as we wrap up here this week, I want to tell you, in case nobody else has told you this today, I believe in you and I believe in your ability to make the changes in order to get the very best chance at getting pregnant with PCOS. I will see you right here, back here next Wednesday. Bye.